Welcome back to Rise and Shine, and I want to tell you some of the best things going on in Franklin County fall under the heading, and I'm reading the top of a magazine that I'm going to share with you, Franklin County Parks and Recreation. This is a group of people under the government of Franklin County. Pretty good folks that absolutely provide for every living, breathing person in the county something to do. The price is right, and what they offer is immense. It's not just playing Little League Baseball. It's not just going out in a canoe. It's not just seeing a movie. It's not just getting a sandwich or some popcorn. It's a plan to do for the community. And some of it may even have a price tag. I mean, if you're going to go and you're going to learn something and you're going to need to have some leather goods or something to build, you're going to have to buy that, no question. And it's not taking over anybody's turf. It's not changing anything. It's something that has been happening in Franklin County for a number of years. I'm just tickled because they have a magazine now. Comes out every now and then. When is this, quarterly?
3 times a year.
3 times a year. How do you, what is, if it's not quarterly, what is it 3 times a year?
Triannual?
Triannual. I like that, triannual. They even have good answers. Would you please introduce yourself, ma'am?
Good morning. I'm Marcia Cramblett with Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec. Oh, your name must be inside the front of this thing here.
Oh, it's a lot of good names in the front of this.
Let's see. Paul Chapman is the director. The person that is the recreation programs manager, Marcia Cramblett. You're the tallest person on the staff, aren't
Why,
you?
most definitely.
I always have to be careful because I come from a long line of people that, never mind.
I get it all the time.
Stand up. Oh,
I am.
you are. Yeah. You know, life is amazing. You have to be willing to smile, go with the flow.
Most definitely.
And now, you know, that doesn't count for hurtful stuff. That's ridiculous. But the kind of stuff that, anyway, this magazine will start showing up when?
It should be this week. It was delivered to the community on, let's see, today is just Wednesday. It was delivered out on Monday.
Okay.
And all the children in the schools, it was delivered to school board office on Monday. So it's probably floating a little bit of all locations at this point.
Franklin County Parks and Recreation, 2150 Sontag Road, Rocky Mount. Phone number 483-9293. You know the number by heart. And you can do it through franklincountyva.gov/parks. You don't even have to use the phone if you don't want to. But there's all kinds of things happening. The front page shows movies that, something they've done over the years. Maybe there's a couple more this year, but it's a neat offering of just a whole lot of choices. Now, I'm going to ask Marcia Cramblett a question. Have you ever, or has anybody ever totaled how many people are involved in participating? Now, this has nothing to do with the folks that are making it happen. Mm-hmm. You got hundreds of people that do that.
Right.
All by themselves. And there's paid folks, but there are tons of volunteers.
Yes.
That just pull this off. Now, this works for how many different people to participate, would you say?
Okay, which, just in general?
In general, over the course of a quarter or a year, how many people avail themselves of the services of Parks?
Well, I didn't bring my quarterly report, but believe it or not, we have started doing those. That gives all their participation numbers for, it's broken down per, whether it's a program, whether it's
What
a
is it,
class.
50 to 100 people?
No, I would say, I mean, alone just in a year, we have over, I want to say 5,000 just youth athletes, not counting numerous volunteers. We're tracking those as well. And just alone in the Easter egg hunt, for example, we had just 800 children at that Easter egg hunt. That was not counting parents, grandparents.
What was the
So
cost?
just-
What was the cost to get in that?
That egg hunt was free this year.
Free this year.
15,000 eggs. So that park was probably packed with at least 2,500 people, not counting the fishermen for Heritage Day. So
That's right. There was Heritage
it
Day,
was
so you
a
could
very
fish.
busy day. So that alone in one
I
event.
understood they weren't biting too well.
The first year I have seen the largest trout in that.
Really?
Yes.
So while there may not have been a lot of them, there were some big ones.
I saw it was over a 6-pound that a little guy had caught. Well, he wasn't little, he was a teenager. And I had heard it was one even larger than that day.
Wow.
I would have loved to have seen it, but
Yeah.
it's huge. But
All right, well, before I turn past the page and we get into it, can we say congratulations to Jamie Tuck?
definitely.
That, you know, this is such a neat feature that they do. They generally just feature somebody that works hard in the community, and it's a coach or a teacher or a guidance counselor or somebody that's out there doing something for somebody. And this is the 2014-15 Winter Coach of the Season, Coach Jamie Tuck from Sontag. He coached Sontag 9 to 10 boys and the Sontag 11 and 12 girls basketball.
He did.
Did he win?
I'm sure he won some and he lost some. And if you'll look at his questions and answers and the reason that he's coaching, you'll be able to see that.
You know, it asks him, what's your favorite thing? It asks him, do you have fun? Well, you know, I coached for years and years and years. And the only thing I could say would be to watch a child grow, to watch the child. Sometimes children are all different. Some of them have a little more serious, some of them a little less, some of them take it a little harder, more or less. But and his answer is being able to see each child return from year to year, see how much they've grown athletically and physically.
Yep.
And he also coaches Sandlot football. And they talk about inspirational stories. They talked about how he became involved. You know, it's something for you to read because there are so many people. Do you have any idea how many volunteer coaches there might be?
Well, I know in the last quarter it was, and that's just within 3 months, it was well over 200 to 300 people. But during a spring season, for example, it could be that many alone just in the baseball program.
Just in baseball, yeah.
Or, I mean, it depends on the season and how many teams. Same way with our basketball program. If you have close to 100 teams, that's at least 2 coaches a team.
Yep,
That's
yep.
just for one sport.
All the work that goes into it by Franklin County Parks and Rec, and yes, there are fees to do some of this, but the fees are kept as reasonably low as they can be. But somebody's got to pay for it also. Well, I guess they could just raise our taxes, but then if you didn't have somebody playing, you'd feel kind of bad.
Right.
Maybe you wouldn't, but there's a whole lot of things going on here. That's the point I'm making, and I congratulate Parks and Rec again with a wonderful magazine, a good year. There's a Recreation Advisory Commission that is a who's who of the county that helps oversee some aspects of it and keep an eye on things. There again, not talking about paid employees. Aging Services Advisory Commission, now that's something a little bit new, a couple of years, and each district has got a Aging Services Advisory Commission member, and under the auspices of the Essig Center, the Y area, and everything going on, there were some seminars there have been,
Yes.
and most recently, not one that was really a great one.
They're hoping to make that an annual event since it was so successful.
Thank you. What I'm doing is I know I'm just carrying on, folks, but when you have something good, you know, we have so many good things happening in Franklin County. We have good beaches, we have good stores, we have good schools, we have good homes, good places to live, good things to do, great restaurants, great theaters, all of that. Everybody needs to be involved in because that keeps the community healthy. But there's also parks and recreation that provides with what I would call, she's going to want to raise if she takes this to somebody, a minuscule staff. You take a dozen or two people running 5,000 kids over a season, and teams and coaches and so forth. But it all comes out in this magazine, and this magazine changes covers every quarter, or
That is correct.
3 times a year. And this one features movies on the move, which means that you can watch a movie. You got great theaters in the community. You can go to see them any day, and that is what you rightfully should do. But you also have special showings at different times at different places under Parks and Rec, and you can get to see yet again something else. So it just opens it up a little bit. I was looking at something, Court Days in Rocky Mount, Virginia. Now, that's going to be quite a deal.
That is, and I'm only a little piece of that pie.
But I've got to get those folks down here.
Definitely, because that whole committee has been working hard.
Oh boy. Court Days. Now, Court Days is something. Now, Parks and Rec is doing a little piece of that, or
We are. We're going to do some old time games for children at Mary Elizabeth Park.
Okay,
on
I
that
saw
day.
that on the agenda on that day. That's in June.
That is on June
Where does
the
that-
13th.
Under events.
Mm-hmm,
Court Days in Rocky Mount. Yeah, this is a big deal. And the reason this is a big deal, other than the very apparent thing that we're going to have a good time, it's a heritage celebration. It's something that was done many years ago
Yes.
in Franklin County. And on Saturday, June 13th, from 8 till 5, there will be multiple venues of live music, artists, food, craft vendors, activities for children, entertaining history program on the courthouse lawn. And you can travel through town, uptown, downtown, and you can see things that used to be.
Yep.
Is that a fair statement?
That is definitely a fair statement. I'm trying to look into the old time games and figure out what in the world did we play and people play years ago. And
Hopscotch?
yes, definitely. It's anything from that to the checkers, to the marbles, to the pitch and pennies, to
Uh-oh, be
all
careful, you're going to be
kinds.
accused of gambling.
I
You start
know.
pitching
That's the
pennies.
only thing. Maybe we can't take the pennies. And,
But you collect them all when you finish.
oh, yes.
But this is going to be a really big day.
We're going to play kick the can.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I used to be pretty good at that.
Yeah. So, I
That
mean,
was a long time ago.
it's going to be a fun day.
Court Days in Rocky Mount. Thank you for the involvement by Parks and Rec and the involvement by our community. Isn't that amazing that we got that coming?
Definitely. It's going to be a new event, something fun.
I have a sheet somewhere. Who is heading that up?
Community partnership.
Community Partnership, and I got a memo in from somebody. Trying to remember somebody in the government the same people that were running the fair.
Okay. Tara, maybe.
Tara, that's
Yes.
it. Tara did it. Yep.
She's probably helping promote as part of tourism.
I ought to get Tara down here to talk about it. So Tara, if you're listening, come on down. We got to talk about Court Days.
Yep.
June 13th, which is
She's on the committee too. She's on the.
yeah. I noticed.
I have been kind of missing several. It's been too many things going on at one time, but
Let's see. Does she have a phone number here?
she's not under the Parks and Rec staff, but
All right.
she can be reached at the government center.
Government Center, okay. All right, now I have got so much to talk about that I just ran my mouth. Now I'm going to kick it back to you and tell us what's going on now and what it is that is happening from your vantage point.
Okay, well, what I'd like to first talk about is you'll see on the back of our magazine, we do have sponsors that help us produce this every year, and if anyone is interested in becoming a sponsor and wants to be a part of our book, if they'll give me a call or an email, or I'd be more than happy to talk to them. But we do need assistance each time to produce our magazine.
All right, well, may I name the 4 sponsors?
Yes, you can.
The Harvester Performance Center, you've heard of them, yeah. Humana Insurance, Country Kids Child Care, it's on State Street, and the YMCA, the summer camp. So it's kind of appropriate stuff. It's entertaining and it's involvement, and yeah, it would be pretty much, well, maybe Humana healthcare, dental coverage, vision coverage. You need that in order to do all this. So I think I can make the connection with that.
And also, I don't know if you've probably haven't had time to look at the book yet, but on page 13, we now have our libraries partnering with us. So information about your local libraries is on page 13 and what they have coming up.
Son of a gun.
So,
She's right.
and then on page 12, right before it, is the
Yeah.
Franklin Center.
The
They're
Franklin
actually,
Center with their class schedule.
yes, they joined, both of those groups have joined us this year, or this quarter.
Well, public safety, that's our friend Billy Ferguson that shows up down here every month to tell us what's going on. And Department of Business Assistance, Adult Education, that's Debbie, and Virginia Western.
And in the summer, they're typically, their schedule's way lighter, but
Yeah. Oh, no, I know, but they've got so much. And Mike Greer's a kind of slightly better than average guy.
there you go.
There you
They're all
go.
good
So-
people.
I like to tease Mike. Mike and I are good buddies. Virginia Western Community College, on top of everything else. So
So-
this is really not only what the kids can do to keep themselves occupied, this has now become a real good press release to give the whole family.
Definitely. It's something, all ages from our kids in school to our senior citizens, just a great publication. If you'll also notice on our seniors pages, which I'm talking ages 50 and up, starting on page 15, they now have 4 pages of activities.
Now you're trying to get on my right side.
We're getting plenty to do for our seniors here, too.
But it was a situation when this was first thought up, there was a few things on one page. Then they went over on the other side, and we had 2 pages for it. Now you got 4 pages of things for senior citizens. Coffee, body basics, open gym, cornhole, croquet, ping pong, shuffleboard.
And yesterday
crocheting.
we did croquet. We did croquet on the lawn there at Essex.
All right, how did
Like
that go?
It was kind of a little warm yesterday. But we definitely need some croquet players to come on out and tell us and show us that game a little bit better. And then last Friday, the seniors, we broke out the old Xbox for them, and they did some bowling, virtual bowling, on our with
Now,
our Xbox system.
I would have no idea how to do that. and
That's the great thing. There's staff there to show you. You don't have to. You just stand there and act like you bowl.
I have a staff of grandchildren, children, and great-grandchildren that think that I am absolutely from another planet because I don't, no, Grandpa, that's what you've got is a telephone. It's, a little flip phone, and it's the only thing I know how to work.
That's okay.
But, and they also feature, I got some pictures of some seniors in here.
Yeah, we need to, we're starting to, I guess photos is our challenge for us as far as just having the staff available, but we're going to start getting some pictures of local folks here at our event so we can make sure that you might be famous when you look at your next edition.
So on
Those are not local photos, but
on page 18, there's some potentially famous
they're
people.
famous somewhere.
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing that's available. So
And Mandy has, she's with Agent Services, has a few great classes that people are definitely interested in. Her trips seem to be very popular, so they're going to Natural Bridge in May, and the Paint Bank trip is in August. So those do kind of fill up if anyone's interested. I think the ages there are 50 and up. And also, last year she did her first annual senior prom. This year she's changing that up a little bit and listening to her folks that came, and they're going to change it to a sock hop for seniors this year. So you're going to have to come out and
Senior sock hop.
senior sock hop. That's going to be on July the 10th.
I was going to look to see what day that is.
Yeah, it's a Friday night. Get those skirts and poodle skirts and
That's
blue
when you get
suede
the poodle
shoes.
skirts. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. 50s look.
Yep, and the Saxy Keys band will be back with us. They were our band last year, and they were great, and people loved them, so we're going to bring them back again.
It seems that every quarter you kind of discover one or two other things, and you I don't know how long it can continue to grow, but you're listening to people and
We do.
really trying to make things happen.
We try to talk to them. We have evaluations they can fill out, and just, especially with the people coming to the center, what better way than to talk to them, just to see what it is they like, what they want. A lot of these people have some experience in one way or another. We have a couple that's here only half the year, but they have a strong interest in shuffleboard. So we actually have a shuffleboard, a portable shuffleboard court that they'll be back in town middle of this month, and they're going to actually start teaching shuffleboard there at Essick, and so it's a win-win there. Of course, the ladies that play bridge, and we have some men too, but a lot of bridge going on, a lot of rook going on. It's something all the time, and this Older Americans celebration is going to be on May 11th, which that's coming up quick, I
Where
guess,
do I
next
see that?
Monday.
Is
That's
that-
on page 18.
Page 18, Older American.
Yeah, it's called Older Americans, and it's the
and it-
50th anniversary, so
It says, in case there happens to be any of you, join us for the 50th anniversary of the Older Americans Act by following this year's theme.
Get in the act.
Get in the act. Celebrate array of active activities, followed by a cookout
theme luncheon.
to honor the contributions of our elder.
And it's all free from 11 to 1.
The only requirement, it's for 60 and up. I'm looking at 7, I'm looking at 3 and 4 year olds, I'm looking
Yes.
at, and here's one that says 60 and up. So. All right, Marcia, now, what else do you want to talk about? That's 4 pages worth.
I'd like to talk a little bit about camps. We have a lot of people, of course, the kids are getting out of school. Let me start with that, at the end of this month. So people are calling us wanting to know, what do you have for your children in the summer? We have at least 2 pages of camps. Most of our camps are like half-day camps or an hour-long camp or a week-long camp. We don't provide a full program during the summer, 5 days a week, or however, we do have a lot of dance camps. We're going to do a babysitting camp with Red Cross this year. So that's for ages 11 and up that want to get certified and actually can become a certified babysitter. And you get first aid, CPR, all of that. They even help you work on your resume. We also have Bricks for Kids camp, and it's basically Lego camp. So, and it's called Bricks for Kids, and they'll be coming in and do several of our Lego camps. We have them, whether it's during the week long, or we've actually asked them to come and do just a Saturday class.
Well, I'm going to pitch one of the teachers.
I'm sure.
Because I'm so proud of her. She's graduating at the top of her class.
Super excited, I'm sure.
Ferrum College.
No better place.
This Saturday, yeah, you should. Ferrum College, Avery Artist, the teacher of the preschool and the ballet camp and the ballet camp. And
She's actually doing 2 camps, 2 different weeks this year for preschool and ballet.
well, the amazing thing to me is that you think, what are you going to get? 3 or 4 people out there, 5 people? And some of these camps just, you got 20, 30, 40 people there, little people that are just having a ball. And yep, Avery is graduating. Anybody else here in the studio know Avery? I don't know. I think they do.
I think one might ought to know her fairly well.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
But,
also,
go ahead.
on the same page, on page 6, if you'll look at those birthday party packages,
Yeah.
we threw in a new one on you. Look at your green box.
All right. Oh my goodness. A beach party.
Oh, yeah. Smith Mountain Lake Community Park, of course, I mean, you would have to call us, and we have to make sure that everything's available, and we have lifeguards, we have our staff. These were going to only be in the afternoons from 6:30 to 8:30, and you will get exclusive use of the beach. With 2 lifeguards and a shelter to have a birthday party it's for kids, ages 2 to 17. But the parents can get that booked if that's something this summer that they want to do.
So that'll get you the shelter,
Yes.
picnic shelter and everything like
And
that?
2 lifeguards and exclusive use of the beach.
Well, I say why not, because, you've done that at the Essex Center now, and you've got lots of different kinds of, and it's funny to see some of the children in there, the children that are not over, this big. I walk in there, and I say, what are you doing? And he tells me what they're doing with Xbox and all the various computer things. It's quite amazing. Now, how much and how important that is, who knows, except that it is where the country is going. And if you're going to get on board, I guess you have to know that stuff.
So if you have any interest in
Yeah.
birthday parties, if you'll see in the gray box, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It'll tell you exactly what to do.
What do you got to do? You got to call,
Call or come by.
fill out the paperwork, pay the fees.
Show up, decorate, and entertain
then
your party.
show up. They're being smart, Alex.
Yeah.
Show up, decorate, and entertain your party. Now, it's a maximum of 50 people and 30 minimum prep time.
Yeah, we'll give you 30 minutes before and after to
Okay.
set up and take down your party at no charge. Also, did you notice our beach schedule underneath there with those chairs waiting on you and Dee to sit in there?
Yep, I see 'em.
Okay. What we're doing new there this year is, of course, we're going to have the dive-in movie night where we'll be showing Dolphin Tale 2 on June 26th. We're going to do our paddleboard race again on June 27th. We have a couple paddle sports, a mini camp, and then an actual day where you can go and actually try out canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards.
That looks like, probably the only benefit is that if you fall, you'll hit
Doesn't
the
hurt.
water and it doesn't hurt. But paddle sports, so you have a, stand-up paddleboard. That's what she said, folks, stand-up paddleboard.
And
on the
also,
water.
page 11,
Page 11.
I need you to check at that picture
Check it, that picture.
because we're going to have stand-up paddleboard yoga classes at the beach this summer.
You're kidding.
We have an instructor who's super excited, and the class is already starting to fill.
You can do yoga on a paddleboard
Yes,
on the water.
on the water. So that one's been a nice class. Also, we're going to do Friday Family Fun Nights at Smith Mountain Lake Community Park Beach. That's on page 10, which means I already talked about the Dolphin Tale 2 movie. We're trying this one Friday a month. So in June, we're going to do the Open Swim and Dolphin Tale 2 movie. On the July 31st, we're going to have an open swim and let people come out and try our stand-up paddleboards. And this is after the beach closes. So it's later in the evening, and it starts at 6:30. So for a couple dollars, you can come down and try our paddle boards. Then on August 28th, we're going to extend the beach hours again and have some more open swim time and set up some volleyball and cornhole on the beach to play.
It's a real family kind of thing.
Definitely. We'll have some music and just have a fun time. And those that work that might not can get off, or if they could take off an hour or so early, come down and enjoy the park.
And it's kind of interesting, something that people ask me over the years, the 4th of July Independence Festival, and everybody says, when is it this year? When is it this year? Which weekend? Which
day? I was
which day?
confused, yeah.
And this is July 2nd this year. I know because it's in my book.
Yeah. And usually they didn't know it, but they really didn't want to tell anybody that they were having a show just for me on that day.
Oh,
So since it was,
Oh.
I get the fireworks and all on my birthday.
yes,
So they went ahead and
yes.
they trying to keep it quiet and not let me know.
Don't want to. Some people, the stuff just goes to their head, you know?
Because I thought they would do it on the 3rd, but they're actually doing it on the 2nd. Yes.
Yeah. But somebody usually remembers if it's close enough and says
Yes.
happy birthday. Okay. All right. Well, this is such a neat magazine. Where, in general, is there such a thing as in general? Now, we've received one in the newspaper already. So it's come in with our newspaper,
The Roanoke Times.
Roanoke Times.
That's correct. We have over 15,000 copies each time we print that's distributed here in the county, and it's through Roanoke Times, and it's through the public school system, and then we actually deliver throughout the county to all the locations,
All the locations.
meaning the libraries, meaning the train depot, meaning the chamber offices, meaning, I mean, I have a list of about 8,000 of those copies that go.
Wow.
So it usually takes us a day to get all the
So
magazines.
all that gets out. Must be have a busy paper route.
Pretty much.
Yeah, wow.
So,
And this is a, what is this, like a 4-month time period? May, June, July, August.
yes.
Yeah, 4-month time period that is covered by what's going on at Franklin County Parks and Recreation.
And I mean, there's several other things we didn't mention about our youth scholarship that's new this year.
Yeah, I was looking at that
Mm-hmm.
because that's on the front cover.
There's an annual membership fee for youth athletics, and now there's a discount if the fee can be reduced from $20 to $10 if the family receives SNAP benefits. And all that we request is a letter when you come to register your child or children. Bring that letter to us from the Social Services Department with a photo ID, and then we'll be able to get the children registered for you.
Now, would that be if you had 3 children?
Mm-hmm.
It would be 3 fees?
Yeah, I mean, you could get it would be $10 a child versus $20.
$10 job versus
Mm-hmm.
instead of 20. Okay, that's nice. That's
So
nice. Yeah.
they've taken that into consideration as well. And then another thing with our parks, back on page 11, this is a new program where we're trying to partner with a Y. And we're calling it Y Park Fit Classes, but we have a new outdoor fitness.
Why park?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
What are
it's
they
a play
doing?
on words. Okay.
But we have the new fitness equipment at Wade Park, and so the Y is providing instructors, and we're going to have an 8-week program beginning May 19th. You'll show up at the Rocky Mount YMCA and have the class from 6 to 7. Then on Saturdays, you will go to Wade Park from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and there's a fitness that you'll be doing at different locations, but same instructor twice a week. So with certified personal trainers too.
On the same page, you can learn line dancing,
Definitely.
yoga,
And meditation's another new one. We had a request for that.
meditation.
Meditation, yes.
That's too quiet for me.
So,
But I understand if that's something that you really are interested in, it's good to know that it is available.
and one other thing that's new, I just keep thinking of all our new stuff, is the Coffee and Canvas, which I think it's a coffee and canvas. It's a painting class. You hear of a lot of places doing paint night in Roanoke, well, we're going to do coffee and canvas, which is similar, except we're going to have coffee and hot tea and all those goodies, and we're doing it once a month. And for your general population, it's going to be on Friday nights from 6 to 9. And then for our seniors, they can do it during the day from 1 to 3 on Fridays. So it's in 2 locations in the book. So
The scope of everything that is being done is quite a task to undertake. You got people going in 10 different directions every minute, just about.
But that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's good. But how is this being accepted okay? Are people pretty happy with it?
Yes, definitely. And, now people are looking for our books, that we're actually going to start a mailing list if you need it mailed, because we get several requests. If they're at the center, they're at Essex Shore, we have stacks right there on the counter for them. But some people, encourage them to come there. They can come to the rec department, different localities with, in their neighborhoods, they could probably find it, but if not, we're more than willing to mail you a copy.
Now, Coffee and Canvas Workshops has an age limitation to 49 and under.
Okay, we do, and that's the night class, and then 50 and over is going to be during the day. However, I'm sure there can be some circumstances to where we would
it could
not
be. He is 51, she is 48.
Exactly, or it could be, can my daughter do this with me? Or it could be, sure, just let us know. It might cause you a little problem trying to register online, but we can make it happen for you.
There is, and you're getting into something that is very near and dear to everyone in our community, and it's like summer youth livestock classes.
Yes, we're partnering with 4-H Extension.
Yeah, because that's very much involved with 4-H and very much involved in the economy and the farms around here.
And what they're wanting to do is for children 5 to 19 is teach them about that and get them prepared if they would like to show at the actual county fair.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
And we got a county fair coming too.
In September.
I'm getting tired just thinking about it, folks. There's so much to do.
Well, I'm not sure if we're going to break and come back, but we haven't even touched on this, which is next weekend.
Well, let's do that. Let's take a commercial break and let's rest for a moment. And we've got a Pig River Ramble that is just about upon us. We need to talk about that.
We do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're gathering information. I hope you've been out looking for your magazine. This can be a real helpful guide for the family to find out exactly. It answers the question, there's nothing to do around here. You got a whole book full, so you got plenty to do. All right, we'll be back in a minute. We're going to take a commercial break, and would appreciate it if you would stay right where you are, and we'll see you again in just a few moments.
People have said that there's no way that Bojangles made-from-scratch biscuits could get any better. But that's before they put 2 thick slices of cheddar cheese inside their biscuits.
There's more cheese than biscuit.
This is ooey gooey goodness.
Ooey gooey?
Look, Dad has a cheese skirt.
Cheese skirt.
Yeah, the melted cheese looks like a skirt.
Come try the Cheddar Bow. Bojangles, it's Cheddar Bow time.
At Trinity Mission Health and Rehab of Rocky Mount, we are dedicated to treating the whole person, not just the injury or illness. That's why we offer a variety of activities to enhance daily life, like religious services, pet therapy, gardening, exercise programs, crafts, birthday parties, movies, and much, much more. Discover the difference by scheduling your tour today.
I'm a real Chantel customer.
This is my real sister.
This is my real treehouse.
This is my real mower.
This is my real Chantel internet.
This is my real Chantel phone.
This is my real big screen TV.
This is my real big wrench.
I'm a real Chantel customer.
This is a real good video.
I'm real pregnant.
We're a real Chantel family.
Real value for real life. From the one provider that calls this place home.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine, and I'm Dick Shoemaker, and you are...
I'm Marcia Cramblett. Nice to meet you.
Yes, it's a pleasure. We've been sitting here running our mouth about Parks and Rec for about a good 30, 40 minutes, but there's so many things going on. Now, we are faced with a something that started,
This is the 14th annual.
14th annual. I got such a charge out of looking at this list that I got that I now don't know what I did with. I had right
This
here
No?
of all the people that had placed
Wow.
first.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you know.
That's probably in your big calendar, yeah.
Yeah, but I just,
Oh, there it is. Second page, maybe?
yeah, Parks and Rec. I don't know, but this talks about, there it is, everybody that has been a winner. Now, winning at the Ramble is not the end of the world. Unless you're a winner, then you will find out that they will. But people back from Jason Bowles in 2002, and Steve Knowles is, I think, the multiple, yeah, 3-time winner. Yeah, he's got this down pat. In the last 4 years, he's won it 3 out of 4.
I think people are probably gunning for him.
Getting serious. But the interesting aside is that his time has improved. Now, you know, this is an interesting event, the Pig River Ramble, because time can be very much affected by the elements.
Definitely.
You can go either faster or slower. And the number of craft that are in the water. And if you have a nice day with a pretty good current, you're going to have a lot of people out there.
Definitely.
And if it's a kind of a not so nice day, you have less competition. But anyway.
And the water levels are the biggest factor.
And that is really going to slow it down if
Luckily,
water is
we've
down.
had a pretty rainy season so far. So.
Yep. But this particular part of what's going on here, this Pig River Ramble, started in 2002. The first one started here in this studio.
Okay.
Because Mara Stevenson brought a canoe in and parked it right here. I came in one morning to do the show just the week of the very first one, and there was no chair, no table, nothing. And right in the middle of the studio was a canoe. And there sat Mars. He said, "What do you say, Dickie boy? Come sit down." You know, so I said, I lowered myself into it. And then, no, I was able to get out too. Now, 12, 13, 14 years later, might need some help on that part, but this is a great event. Now, talk about it and let's get the whole story.
Well, first of all, it takes a committee to make this happen. It also takes tons of sponsors.
Yep.
If you will see here, we have all these people trying to help us get through 3 days of paddling. Our title sponsor this year is Altos by Nelson. And then we have other sponsors such as Orion Solutions, Carillion, Franklin Memorial, 220 Auto Sales, Longwood Signs, Creek Freaks, RoanokeOutside.com, Humana, Franklin Community Bank, Member One, Proline Trailers, McAirlades, Sleep Safe Beds, Davis, and Davis, Run Roanoke, and of course the county of Franklin and Parks and Recreation, as well as other people that support us, whether like you guys at Cable 12, Agent Services, Public Safety, the Sheriff's Department, Giant Step Art and Design, Hometown Ice, RNS Spreading, B99, Franklin News Post, Town of Rocky Mount, and Walgreens.
Boy, this is a real community event.
Definitely. It's a big thing. People are coming from all over. Our website, therambleweekend.com, was available for registration as of April the 1st. People were calling and calling, even before April, wanting to register and book their plans and motels and want to know where's a good place to stay, and they were coming in. And
about how many, on average, are in the Ramble now?
Well, let's start with our Friday night event at the Blackwater Blackout, and that's it's on New Plant Road, which is over near the Cooperwood Bridge. That is probably, as far as attendance goes for the weekend, the highest in attendance. We could average at least 600 people or more alone just at that event.
Floating down the river.
Yes, in the dark.
In the dark.
Yes.
That's Friday night, May 15th. Register and get set between 5 and 7:30,
And our band this year is the 5 Mile Mountain Road Band. So if anyone wants to come listen to those guys, they have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Sounds to me a little bluegrass.
Yeah.
So they'll be there playing that night prior to our 3 Mile float.
Did you ever hear of 5 Mile Mountain Road? Okay. They got a band.
They do.
All right. That's Friday evening. And actually registration and music and food starts at 5, and the actual float starts at 7:30.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it's $20 for that night, or if you are interested in multiples, events Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have a weekend package you can buy for $40. So you can actually do all 3 events, float all 3, receive shuttles, receive food, music for $40 for the weekend.
And is each one have a $20 fee?
Yes, we're trying to make it simple.
All right.
And kids 12 and under are free as well. So
12 and under are free. Okay. So
then that will lead us into Saturday, which is the 14th annual Pig River Ramble.
this is the serious race.
This is the actual race, or you can float, either one. We give you an option when you register. If you want to race, you're going to go about 8 miles from Wade Park to Lynch Park. Okay? And if you're more casual floater, just want to come out and have fun, guess what? You can actually do about a 4-mile float from Wade Park to Rakes Road Bridge, and then we'll offer shuttle service and get your boat back to Wade.
Ah, okay.
So
And that it ends at which location?
Rakes Road Bridge.
Rakes Road. And then
There's a
the actual race would end
at Lynch Park.
Lynch Park. That's become, it's always been a neat place, but it's been dressed up now.
Definitely hasn't. It's a nice, I call it a nice little quiet park.
Yes, maybe that morning it won't be.
No, it won't be that morning. Yeah.
But that's good because everybody gets into the mood,
And to make this weekend even better, we have someone partnering with us to do our first annual Pig River Rumble 5K trail run. So you can actually do a 5K the morning of the Pig River Ramble at Wade Park.
That's not on a track totally. That's
Right.
a little bit through the woods.
A little bit through the woods and on our trails there. So that's going to start at 9 that morning. And then registration for our ramble will begin around 11. And then the Franklin County Young Life is going to be doing their Great Duck Race. And their little ducks will race down the Pig River, and
You have
I'm
a chance to win something there.
You have a chance to win a lot of things there.
Yeah, the ducks carry the secret. Right?
That's right.
So that's good.
And then at 1 o'clock is when our racers will begin, and then at 1:30 we'll mass start the folks that want to just float.
Where's the barbecue meal and awards ceremony?
It's at Wade Park.
Wade Park, okay.
So at 5 o'clock or so, people will be making their way back, and we'll have a nice barbecue, coleslaw, baked beans, a great meal for them, and we'll have that and give away our awards for the winners of the Ramble. And then new this year, we're going to actually have an outdoor movie showing of a movie called Raven Fork, and it'll begin at dusk. So that's going to be a very busy Saturday.
You guys will do well to get through it.
Yes.
Wow.
Then we'll get up Sunday morning, which this is my favorite
Yeah, you
one.
can't get too comfortable with all this stuff, See, glad that's over, but bam, then here it comes again. All right.
And that's our breakfast on the Blackwater.
Yeah. Now
And
that's fine. Who's the chef?
That will be the Hub Restaurant, and I'm sure Mr. Butch, if possible, will be there.
I think he will be.
Yeah, so
You just dock your boat, pull over.
Well, actually, we've started doing something new. Actually, when you come the morning of, you just check in. We do ask that you need to be pre-registered for this so I can give an accurate count for the food.
Right.
Because we're talking bacon, eggs, pancakes.
Always been a good meal.
Juice, coffee. And we do this it's on the land right before we start our float. So you go ahead and have your breakfast and all, and drink your coffee and whatever you need before you do your float.
Okay.
And also that day is if you participated and registered and actually participated in all 3, we're going to have a drawing for our kayak. It's a very nice Perception Rambler kayak. over a $450 boat.
Your entry is?
If you've registered and completed and participate in all 3 of the events,
Wow.
you get a chance to win a brand new kayak.
That happens at 9:55.
About 9:55, right before we start our float.
You guys are really getting wild and crazy.
Well, we're having fun doing it. And that's not counting camping for the weekend, too. We offer camping at Wade Park. So if you want to come, some people will just say, you know, everything's kind of happening on Saturday there at Wade, so they'll come in and they'll camp at Wade Park Friday night and sleep in and get up and be right there on site to do their float.
Now, this explanation that was just given about Ramble Weekend is actually on the inside, the pass to be filled out, and the entry, if you will, and you can attach your checks for whichever you're going to be involved in, and wow.
And guess what color our shirts this year will be? I didn't bring a picture because I still want it to be a little bit of a surprise.
Oh, so I was waiting for you to reach in and pull one out.
We do have one shirt for the entire weekend because it's our Ramble Weekend shirt. And this year we're going Texas Orange.
Texas Orange. It'll be seen. Wow, who's from Texas?
No, I'm sure somebody, but that's just the color shirt. We got to do something different.
Yeah.
Last year was the pretty blue, but this year we're going to...
Well, sometimes the darker colors are not quite as nice because they've got wording on them, and sometimes that blends a little. No. But the lighter colors show it off. So you get a free shirt, too.
Yes, and meal and
Pardon me?
Music. You get your meal and your music, and shuttle service.
You've got the Blackwater Blackout, the Pig River Ramble, breakfast on the Blackwater. And when you're dealing with it, you can use any combination of them, too.
Yes.
Wow. It's amazing. It's amazing what we have here. This is something that is very good to keep people out of trouble on one weekend.
Have you happened to hear anything about the awards this year for the Ramble?
Oh, my goodness. Let me sit down.
You haven't heard anything?
No.
About the little pink pigs flying around?
No?
Well, they're up your street, getting painted, worked on right now. I'm supposed to receive them today.
Wow.
Yep, we're going to have homemade awards for second and third place finishers this year in the Ramble. And
and they're actual pink pigs.
Pink pigs.
Well, it's a memorable kind of a prize.
Yep, and we have 23 different categories that will be given away for participants that weekend, too.
How big? How big are the pink pigs?
They're small.
All right.
They're going to be a medal. We have silver and bronze neck ribbons for them, so they can wear them.
That'll be great. Yeah, gee whiz.
Yeah.
You have really outdone yourself. But it seems like every year, Marcia, that it gets a little bit bigger, or something is added, or something is dressed up a little bit.
It
you
is,
know, and it's great.
And I want to definitely say thank you to the Creek Freaks, and it was a couple logging companies, and I can't remember. I know one was Foxfire, and I cannot remember the second one off the top of my head, but those folks, actually, we had a blockage there on the Pig River where people actually had to port their boats for the race. Well, all this rain helped, but then we had the Creek Freaks and the two other logging companies or towing companies that went out, and as of last night, the river is passable because they were able to pull the one log away, and in other words, so this year you won't have to port, and it'll be a lot safer, and people will definitely be happy.
It's kind of amazing when you stop and think about it. If you're going to float down the river, if you're going to have a race, if you're going to try to get from point A to point B.
And how do you do it?
Yeah, and you can't have logs on the water. Well, you could, but it would put you in a pickle as you approached it. So, but you pretty well have an overview of safety before you start, don't you?
We do. Well, like I said, we have a committee that plans this each year, and of course it's myself and Paul Chapman, Al Flora, who's on our Recreation Advisory Commission, and Matt Ray. So we meet year-round, once a month, trying to make sure that we get everything lined up and planned. And then we also take one meeting where we meet only with Public Safety, the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, and the Sheriff's Department. so we can go over all our safety issues and aspects of what we need to do and make sure all our VDOT paperwork's filled out and listen to them and take suggestions and make sure we have people where they're needed.
Great. That's great. You know, I was going to say, what do you do in your spare time?
Rest.
Oh, boy. This got to be a tough time.
Yeah, it's busy, but that's like I said, it's
You enjoy it,
it's
though.
spring.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Coming out, getting warm.
Yep.
Folks, the Pig River Ramble. And every year, something somehow gets piggybacked or involved with it. And I think the record is about intact. Every year they manage to add one more or many more things to the Pig River Ramble. And this is no variation in it. It's the same way. It's going to happen. So it makes it a little bit neat because if you've done it before, you may want to do it again just to see what's new or what's going on, or maybe they've even ironed out something that was a little more cumbersome. So who knows? But it's a fun day.
And I didn't answer your question on the numbers for, I said about 600 for Friday night for the blackout. Well, Saturday we averaged 300 to 400 people, and then on Sunday we're now getting over 200 people for the breakfast.
No kidding.
And I can remember starting out with about 60 people,
Yeah,
and it's over 200 now.
That's
So.
ridiculous. That's absurd. 200. Let's see, so how many people come to the breakfast?
Well,
200?
we're saying 6, 4, and 2, so that's about 1,200 for the weekend.
Wow. That's a lot of people. And they're
And that's
all
probably not counting spectators and.
and they're all having fun.
And we have outside games that we have set up if you want to come. Like we make a homemade ping pong table, and we have some cornhole, and we have a giant Jenga game. And this year we're going to have a new. We're bringing out our new key log, which is like it's a log, but it's plastic, like PVC. And the object is this time was we're going to put it in an inflatable pool and let people get in and try to see how they can balance and stand and roll on the log. As another event, and inner tubes too, so you can inner tube there at Wade
Now,
Park.
where's that done?
We're going to do that at Wade Park on
Wade Park,
Saturday.
okay.
And then during the summer, that key log will be at the Smith Mountain Lake Community Park Beach that people can use every day.
What are
on
you,
the beaches.
tethering it or something?
Yeah, and you get in, you just get on it and it rolls, and you can set the dimensions as to whether how fast or slow that it'll roll.
It doesn't take you down the river, though.
No.
Okay.
It's more of a balance kind
Balance
of.
thing, yeah. Things continue to change, but things continue to change for the positive and to grow.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, I wish we could do this. Well, don't say it too loud because it's going to happen. You probably will. And it's amazing. What is the return factor and what is the overall attitude about the Pig River Day, Pig River Ramble Day?
It is a definitely community and people being there, and just a lot of people that, you know, this might be something you see this person once a year. You're like, oh yeah, and you know, you can see groups everywhere just kind of sitting and talking. Same thing in their boats. Everybody likes to stop at the ledge. You guys do a great job of filming that event, and people are always watching the Pig River Ramble on Cable 12. And you know, people will pack their lunches or their snacks, and I don't know, it's just kind of a relaxed, laid back weekend of just enjoying the Pig River and the Blackwater River.
And there's people that are coming in from all over the country.
That say they love it. They love coming here and enjoying and taking part of that weekend. So.
Ramble Weekend 2015, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about, and this is immense. You'll see these around, and
it's in your books too, but it's and you know, the best thing to do to check it out if you have internet is just go to the rambleweekend.com.
you can get that information right off.
It has all the times, details.
Rambleweekend.com.
It has its own website.
It's famous.
It's a famous one.
All right, what else about that weekend, or this weekend? Yeah, it's right just about on us.
It is.
What else is going on? Anything that you would think of? Is there any kind of closing ceremonies or?
Not really. We try to make it to where each event we kind of take care of that night. That way if people don't do all three, or, you know, like for, the big thing for Saturday is the awards for the event, and we try to do that right after, so they can, you know, if they're not back Sunday, or we're not trying to get people to, doesn't have to come to all three, so.
Wow.
But we're getting more and more that are doing all three, because when we draw for our kayak, we're getting at least, I would say, 75 to 100 people that are doing the whole weekend, because they want a chance to win that nice kayak.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lady last year won it, and she had to be in her 70s, and I have the cutest picture. I should have brought it. I didn't bring it with me, and she was so excited and sat in that boat, and we took her picture, and she could not believe.
Was the boat in the water?
No.
No, okay.
She did actually float, though. I mean, she floated, I know, Friday night. Wow. But she was around the whole weekend. I'm not sure if she did all three of them.
All right, but this is a very responsive team of people, ladies and gentlemen, that are working on your behalf. And Franklin County Parks and Rec, but now you're about to transition out of the school year into the summertime, and that's a little bit different. And, you know, you're going to have other things to do that weren't out there. Although in the winter, there's a lot of things to do in itself.
Just might be indoors, but.
Yeah, the weather being a little bit of a problem, but this should be wonderful. There is so much, you know, I'm so pleased to see it all laid out so that you can look at it so totally. And now it'll be in all the local newspapers.
It will, and they just ran it. I haven't had a chance to look at today's paper, but I know we had an article in Monday's paper. Okay. And I'm sure I sent a press release again that maybe Morris is helping us work on, as far as the Franklin News Post, he'll be getting us another article ready. And also B99 next week, we'll be doing the radio announcements for us. So.
They're Johnny on the spot. All of that is available to you at a modicum of fees, and just whatever fees are necessary to make it happen. And the thing that is good is there's something for everybody in the family.
It keeps me so busy. I have to have an hour by hour as what's going on, and where's who, and where's the staff. And
that's interesting.
Yes, and you can see I haven't finished it yet, but it's because it's forever changing. So.
There's paid staff of Parks and Recreation, Franklin County Parks and Recreation. There's volunteer staff that works periodically, and then there's volunteer staff that shows up just about every day, especially during the summer. So be sure to tell somebody thank you, because it's, you know, got to be a labor of love in order to do that. But all of this is coming this weekend.
Have you noticed our banners anywhere? Our big Pig River banners?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, you had to drive by right across from McDonald's, the parking area there. We had a banner up this week there. There's a banner at the farmer's market.
Oh, yes, I did see that one.
Oh, yes. How
yeah,
you like
sure
those?
Did. Yeah, fine. That's good.
No, we got those.
Because that's good to be reminded of it, because it means that you're more than likely going to be there.
Yeah, we have those throughout the county, and we also have yard signs.
What times?
Yard signs.
Yard signs.
We got a dozen of those throughout one end to the other.
Is there anything else going
on? Well, we could go on and on, but we better stop with the month of May, because if in June is 3 more weekends of fun, but between movies, court days, kids game, antique farm days, another movie, stand-up paddleboard race. It just goes and goes and goes.
That's out on the lake.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hear something you like, wait a minute, because you will very quickly. This is a compliments of Franklin County government, your Parks and Recreation, all the things that are available.